Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? My name is Rob and welcome back for another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys Canadian stocks I'm going to be buying inside my portfolio today. We'll also do our weekly update on our Wealth Simple Trade investing account here. So I'll give you guys an update on the stocks I'm buying. I'll show you guys my dividend income and I'll share with you guys some of the news that's been going on. So I'm going to be buying two stocks today. But before we get into that, I just want to say really quickly, it's been actually pretty crazy here this winter. You guys can see I took a little bit of shot of the snow that we have in our backyard here. The weather's been absolutely crazy. Now the good news is that it's actually pretty sunny out today, so hopefully some of the snow will start to melt. But I just want to show you guys how the snow has been crazy this year. So springtime's coming, which is nice to see. And I always like the sun and the light's always nice and whatnot. But hopefully we can get some nice weather and some of the snow will start to go away. And if you guys do enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. There's also a link to Wealth Simple Trade if you guys want to set up an account and get that going as well in the description of this video. Alright guys, so here's a quick little peek inside of our Wealth Simple Trade account. We have $110,000 in total across all of our Wealth Simple Trade accounts. We have a personal account, an RSP, and a TFSA that we've been slowly building out. And the TFSA is our biggest account that we started here. And then we have the personal account, which is basically an extension of the TFSA. So the first account we're going to take a peek at is going to be the TFSA. I'll do a quick little recap of everything that's been going on. And as you guys might expect, we've seen a bit of a dip recently in the markets. So today opening, it is March 4th right now, 10 a.m. at the time of doing this video. Our account is $94,000, just under $95,000. We are under a negative $324 in terms of return for today. Over the past week, we're sitting at about zero, more or less. Over the past month, we're at negative 1%, which is down $1,000. Over the past 3 months, the TFSA is at a gain of +2 overall. And over the past year or so, the TFSA has still grown 10%. And that's us regularly investing inside the different stocks that we have here. And all time, our TFSA is up 13%. So all time, it's still doing pretty good, but we've definitely seen a bit of a dip over the last little while. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen over the next little while. I'm going to switch over to the personal account, which is a little bit more focused on Canadian stocks. Over the past day, we are down negative 1%. Over the past week, we are sitting at about zero, more or less. Past month, we're down negative 2%. Past 3 months, we're up 4%. 1 year return for the personal account is 9%. And the all-time return for the personal account is staying about that 9%. So this was a newer account that I made recently, but it's been growing pretty steady. And once again, this one is a little bit more focused on Canadian stocks. And the Canadian stocks are actually having a bit of a better year than US stocks of some what we've seen so far. And I'm just going to give you guys a quick little recap of all the different stocks we have inside my portfolio. So the first portfolio we're going to talk about is going to be the TFSA. We have $100 to trade inside the TFSA today. So most of the stocks inside of our TFSA are solid Canadian stocks, and we have a combination of growth, U.S. growth-based stocks, which is our VFE, which is the S&P 500. We have VDY, which is our main Canadian-based dividend ETF. And then we have some good, solid company dividend growth-based stocks. And I've also been working on building some of the higher yields inside this portfolio as well. So some of the stocks that currently have higher yields, I guess, would be like RioCan. HYLD is the one we recently bought, which is a covered call ETF. It's their goal is to produce a yield of 10%. So the reason why I want to buy this ETF is to kind of bump up the passive income a little bit inside this portfolio. I'm still focusing on, the growth stocks predominantly inside here, as well as the good quality Canadian stocks, but I do want to add a little bit more yield. So if you guys don't know, I did a video on HYLD a couple days ago. Check the video out. It was a quick little introductory to the fund. It's a brand new fund, Hamilton Enhanced US Covered Call ETF. It's a US based covered call ETF, lots of diversification. If we go down here, we can see the different funds. So it's a giant big ETF of all these different funds, these different covered call funds. So you have HEP, HHL, HBF, XYLD, RYLD, QYLD, and TXF. So it's a well-diversified fund that has a lot of security. And once again, the whole purpose is to get that 10% yield paid monthly. So it's a nice little way for me to kind of bump up the passive income inside my portfolio. And it just allows me to do a lot of different flexibility in terms of how I want to manage my life, how I want to live things, and how I want to kind of tap into my portfolio over time. So if you go back into Wealth Simple Trade, that's going to be one of the main stocks I'm going to buy, and it is Canadian hedged. I'm going to be buying the Canadian hedged version, so we don't have to worry about conversion fees and whatnot. So I'm going to spend about $100 in HYLD today. So we'll go through, we'll put that through. I'm going to buy inside my TFSA. I'll buy 100 shares, and then the other stock I'm going to be buying is going to be inside my personal account. So we'll buy HYLD. We'll let that go through for $95 Canadian. That's going to buy 6 shares, and that's going to help us get some more of the passive income that's going to come inside HYLD. And by the way, I'll just do a quick little recap. Our all-time performance of HYLD is currently down negative 0.43%. Not like that really matters, since the main purpose of this fund is that dividend yield. Now, if we go inside the personal account, we have $191 to buy inside the personal account. And inside the personal account, I'm going to be focused on a traditional stock, a solid stock, one of my most favorite stocks of all time. And if you guys watch this channel, you're probably going to know what that stock is. And once again, I like a combination of growth, dividend growth, solid companies, as well as a little bit of dividend yield. As you guys just seen what we were doing with HYLD. So the other stock I'm going to be focused on is TD. So TD is one of the biggest banks, and there's been a little bit of news around TD recently, a lot of good news. And once again, this is a reason why I think this bank is going to be one of the best banks ever. Like, it's done well inside our portfolios. We're currently up 13% inside of our personal account, and the personal account we did start last year. So big things about regards around TD is TD had a really good their profits they recently reported. I think it was yesterday. They did like their first quarter for 2022. They had a really good report. Their net income grew 13% to $3.83 billion in the first quarter of 2022. So obviously that's pretty crazy, and that's mostly from the U.S. operations. And speaking of regards to the U.S. operations, they did buy First Horizon Bank here. You guys have seen this too as well. This is a huge bank. I didn't even know what First Horizon was. I had to Google them, but I guess First Horizon is a bank financial service in the States. So TD is set to buy that, I think, either in 2023 or 2024. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it was for $13 billion. So the thing I like about this is TD is constantly expanding. They're constantly growing, and I think they're tapping into that American market. I think is one of the smart things they can do, because they're pretty much already one of the biggest banks in Canada, and they're doing really well. Why not tap into some of these other international countries? And I think the U.S. is a great opportunity, and they've shown us that they've been able to do really well with that. So TD is always going to be one of the best banks, in my opinion. Is always going to be one of the best stocks to buy. So regardless of what's going on in the world, regardless of what's going on in the market, I'm always going to be buying TD. So like I mentioned, we have $191 to buy TD today. I'm going to go through here, and the cool thing about TD is we can do fractional buys. So we can do a fractional buy. All I got to do is type in $191. That'll go through. Make sure I have my personal account selected. Actually, it looks like I have to. There we go. Now we're on there, and looks like I'm gonna have to refresh the page. It looks like there's a little bug here. I do notice sometimes the UI on Wealth Simple Trade does have little bugs here and there. So go back inside the personal account, fractional buy, and we want 191. Oops, not 1,000, 191. There we go. And that'll buy us 1.9 shares of TD. And all the fractional shares usually go through at the end of the day. So just important to keep that in mind. But those are the two stocks I'm buying inside my portfolio. Once again, a combination of good quality stocks, some dividend growth, as well as some stock appreciation. And in regards to the dividend payments for the portfolio, I don't think there's anything new really to report. It looks like we did get a dividend from Fortis on March 1st, $6.42. So we'll have to add that to our spreadsheet probably next week. But some other dividends for February. I'm pretty sure I've already showed you guys these dividends, but we will be getting our big dividends from VDY. I think VFE pays a dividend next month, so we have our big quarterly payments probably coming out. Maybe some of them will come out towards the end of March, but usually I think most of them are at the beginning of April, so we'll have to wait for that. But those are just some of the small dividend payments that we received so far inside the portfolio. Nothing too crazy here, just $4, $16, $16, $88 from our big ETFs, and then some other smaller ones here. So let's jump inside our spreadsheet, and let's kind of take a peek and review the monthly dividend income that we've gotten so far. Here's a quick little review of the monthly income inside of a portfolio. So it is March, the beginning of March, and I want to do a quick little recap of all the different years that we've invested here. So we first started the portfolio in 2020 of January, obviously just before the pandemic hit. That's when we first started investing. That's when I first started this YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel was really built on the backbone of this weekly investing update case study series. So hope you guys enjoy it. So March was the first, in March of 2020, we were making $5 a month. That's our dividend payment. And I think when I did, like when I first made my first $5, I went to the store and I bought like, somebody actually made a comment about this the other day, but I bought a pack of tea, and I was kind of like showing you guys how I'm going to do my monthly expenses. And I want to talk about that later on in today's video. But I went to the store and I bought like something cheap for $5 just to show you guys the value of it. And then if we fast forward a whole another year to March of 2021, we actually made $69. So obviously a huge increase in value just in course of 1 year. And again, this is aggressively investing my money into dividend stocks and slowly growing that money. And in 2022, we were looking at probably maybe an estimate of somewhere between $100 to $200 in dividend income. And with me buying into some of the higher yield funds to kind of bring that up a little bit, we should see that grow to a nice low number. So once again, we've consistently investing into stocks, consistently growing it, and you can see the value of that over time. And here's a quick little graph here that I want to show you guys that basically shows how that money has grown, since day one here. This is month number 1, January 2022, all the way to our current month. So this was, I think, last month. Obviously not a huge month, but we should be a nice little rebound. Once the next quarter comes through, we'll get like a nice big jump up again. Kind of tends to happen since we hold a lot of our funds and VFV and whatnot. But the whole point of like the high yield stocks and the high yield covered calls is to kind of bring that down to be a little bit more level, so we don't get these big swings on a quarterly basis. But anyways, guys, just a quick little update on the dividend income. And the other thing I want to talk about really quickly before we kind of move towards the end of the video is my monthly expenses. If you guys watch the channel, you know that I've been tracking my dividends. I've been trying to live off my dividend income, showing you guys a case study, and kind of showing you guys some personal finance and stuff along the way and whatnot. One of the big things I wanted to do is to focus on the monthly income for our funds, especially once we start building up our dividend income. I had my other spreadsheet when I was doing like the things I was buying, but I found this was kind of really hard to track and it's kind of a little bit messy. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be splitting the things I've bought, like the physical objects that like the one-time purchases, onto a certain sheet, and I'm going to be making another sheet here that I have here that actually goes to my monthly expenses, so it's easier to kind of see like, okay, you know what it is, the essentials that we need to pay to basically survive. And the whole point of this dividend, the whole reason why I started investing in the first place was to kind of get some of this stuff paid for. So here in the left side column we have all the things I've added up. And I'm sorry that the red is kind of hard to see. I'm just going to change the color here really quickly so maybe you guys can read this better. I'll change it to yellow. So you guys can see here that we have rent. We have a rent payment we got to pay for, potentially a mortgage in the future, our food. And these are me and my girlfriend's combined costs together. So this is kind of what we estimate that we pay together. So our food, we estimate $400, give or take. It's kind of like our budget, if you will. The internet is $100, insurance, paying for pet stuff, our health and well-being, a vehicle. Some of the stuff we haven't calculated or we don't currently pay for yet, or we haven't quite budgeted yet, but I just want to put it in here to eventually get to the point where we can pay for these things. Vacations and traveling, entertainment / life experiences, taxes, utilities, dental stuff, healthcare, prescriptions. Looks like I spelled prescriptions wrong. Education, education, different things like that, cell phone bill and whatnot. And I'm sure there's others that we can eventually add in there. And then I have my current monthly dividend income. So the big reason why I wanted to bump up the dividend income to it for a little bit, especially considering how big our portfolio is to start paying off some of these things. If we can put our money to pay for our groceries, that'd be pretty sweet. If we can use some money to pay for our internet bill, if we could pay for our pets' food and stuff like that, or our pet bills, if we could pay for some of our rent or our mortgage or something like that, if we could pay for a vehicle or our our utilities that we pay for every single month, or if we could pay for like a vacation or something, all these little things that can get you a lot of value in life, if we can start to knock some of those things off, then that'd be super cool. And you guys can see how it can grow, and it really makes you feel good when you see these kind of things, you kind of knocking them off. Especially since it takes so long to grow your investments, and sometimes it can feel like you're not doing enough, and you're like, oh my god, like this is taking forever. You can kind of feel good at the end of the day and help you, that financial part of your brain that always is kind of questioning, is this enough? Are you doing enough? Is this going to work? You can start to feel good about that stuff. So the first thing I wanted to tackle was our food budget, which is give or take $400 per month. So we want to kind of hammer that down. Obviously that's a pretty big number, but even if we can just start to put some of our money towards our dividend income, maybe it gets to $100, $200, we can start to do slammer down that food budget so we don't have to pay for our food again. That'd be super cool. And what I want to do is I want to start documenting this stuff as well and showing you guys, I want, we could go to the store and stuff like that, and we could buy some, some groceries and stuff like that, and I could show you guys how I do that. So that'd be super cool to do. So let me know what you guys think of that. I know I've done that in the past, but I would like to take it to the next level. But anyways, guys, I just want to give you guys a quick little recap on some of that stuff. Alright guys, so this is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I always mention, if you did enjoy, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so you guys can see my videos as I produce them and as they come out. Hope you guys have a good week. I know we're kind of approaching the end of the week, so hopefully we get some nice weather. But anyways guys, hope you have a good weekend. Take care. I'll see you guys later and have a good one.